Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today in this video we will discuss various important concepts related to microeconomics and some important and tricky questions where students generally gets confused or mark wrong answers. This video will be very useful for the CBSE Standard 12 students. Let us start with the discussion. Before discussing about the concepts of chapter 1 introduction, I would like to throw a quick question. Now this question is: decision regarding production of producers goods or consumers goods relates to which central problem of an economy? The options are: A, what to produce; B, how to produce; C, for whom to produce; and D, none of the above. Think and to give answer. The correct answer is A, what to produce, because this decision relates to allocation of resources. We will start our discussion with central problems of an economy versus the causes that are responsible for the central problems. Many times students gets confused between the two. Let us start our discussion with central problems of an economy. Central problems of an economy are divided into three categories: what to produce in what quantities, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Let us first discuss the problem of what to produce. The problem of what to produce relates to the problem of allocation of society's scarce resources. The problem of what to produce relates with the decision of which commodities to produce and in what quantities. Decision regarding allocation of scarce resources for the production of various commodities is taken under this problem. Here is a fun fact regarding the problem of what to produce. The problem of what to produce is generally solved with the help of production possibility curve (PPC) or production possibility frontier (PPF). The next problem faced by an economy is how to produce. This problem relates to the choice of method or technique of production. An economy has two options. Either they can go with labor intensive technology or they can go with capital intensive technology. Let us first see labor intensive technology. Labor intensive technique means the technique of production where more of labor and less of capital is used. This technique is very much useful for developing countries like India, where labor is cheaply and abundantly available. The second technique of production is capital intensive technology, where more of capital or machines and less of labor is used. This kind of technology is very much useful for the developing countries like USA, where capital is available in abundant but labor is scarce. The next problem faced by an economy is for whom to produce. This problem is related with the equitable distribution of income among different individuals or groups. It is concerned with personal distribution and functional distribution of income or output in an economy. Next we will see what are the causes which leads to the central problems of an economy. First reason behind central problems of an economy is unlimited human wants. Human wants are unlimited. Whenever they satisfy one want, another want will come up. Also, with the change in time and change in technology, human wants also keeps on changing. So humans generally want so many things out of life, so their wants are unlimited. Second cause of central problems is limited or scarce resources. Even though human wants are unlimited, the resources to satisfy his needs are very much limited, and that is the reason a person or an economy has to make choice where and how to use these resources. The third reason behind the central problems is alternative uses of resources. The resources are limited or scarce, but they can be put to various alternative uses, and this makes the problem of choice much more complex. Now we move on to the discussion of scarcity. Scarcity is when demand for a good exceeds its supply even at zero price. So we can say that scarcity is a relative concept. It is always considered in relation to its demand. If demand exceeds supply, then the commodity is considered as scarce, and scarcity is the root cause of economic problem, that is the problem of choice. Now let us see what is economics. According to Professor Lionel Robbins, economics is a science that studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means that have alternative uses. So, in short, economics is a science which relates itself with how the scarce means can be used and get maximum satisfaction, maximum benefit, or maximum profit. Economics has two branches, microeconomics and macroeconomics. A question in your examination may be asked in 1 mark that what is microeconomics? Micro means small, and if we have to define microeconomics, it is that branch of economics which deals with economic problems relating to individual economic units like consumer or a producer. A question may be asked about defining macroeconomics. Macroeconomics, where macro means big. If we want to define macroeconomics, then it is that branch of economics that deals with the economic problems at the level of economy as a whole, like problems of inflation or unemployment. Macroeconomics also considers the problems in their aggregates. A question also may be asked regarding defining opportunity cost. If we want to define opportunity cost, it is the cost of next best alternative foregone. In our life, we always have to make a choice. Whenever we make choice out of two alternatives, the alternatives which we did not choose, that serves as opportunity cost for the alternative which we have chosen. Now we come to the most important concept in the first chapter, that is production possibility curve. It is also known as production possibility frontier. In short, production possibility curve is known as PPC and production possibility frontier is known as PPF. In 1 mark, it may be asked to define production possibility curve. So its definition is production possibility curve is a curve that shows different possibilities of producing a set of two goods with given resources and technology, assuming that the resources are fully and efficiently utilized. So while defining production possibility curve, we need to keep in mind that we have to produce set of two goods. Also, the resources are fixed and given. The technology also do not change, and we have to assume that resources are fully and efficiently utilized. You can see that I have provided graph also in this slide. The graph is regarding the production possibility curve, where An economy faces the problem of whether to produce consumer goods and military goods, and if it decides to produce both, what would be the efficient quantity, or in what quantity both should be decided. Any point inside the PPC curve is considered as inefficient. Any point outside the PPC curve is unattainable because with given resources it will not be possible to produce that much of amount, and each and every point on the PPC curve represents a solution where resources are fully and efficiently utilized. Now we will discuss about the properties of PPC. A PPC has two properties. One, it is downward sloping, and second, it is concave to the origin. Many times it happens that a question is asked about proving the downward sloping of PPC, or we have to give reason about the concavity of the production possibility curve. Students get confused between these two, and they generally do not have the appropriate logic behind the answer. Now let us see what downward sloping means and what does the concave to the origin means. Downward slope of a PPC suggests negative relationship between production of two goods. That means with limited resources, an economy cannot increase production of both the goods. In order to increase production of one good, some production of the other goods must be sacrificed. Since production of both the goods is negatively related with each other, our PPC curve will be downward sloping. Second property of PPC is that PPC is concave to the origin. It suggests that in order to produce every additional unit of one good, we have to sacrifice more and more of the other good. It means increasing MRT or MOC. Now it is the MRT, that is marginal rate of transformation, or MOC, marginal opportunity cost. It will decide what will be the shape of production possibility curve. If MRT is increasing, then PPC is concave. If MRT is constant, then PPC is a straight line, and if MRT is decreasing, then the PPC curve will be convex to the origin. But in general, MRT is increasing because all the resources are not equally efficient in production of both the goods, and that is the reason our PPC curve will mostly be concave to the origin. In previous slide, we saw that shape of PPC is decided by marginal rate of transformation or marginal opportunity cost. In this slide, we will see what MRT or MOC means. If we want to define them, MRT or MOC refers to the ratio of number of units of good Y sacrificed to produce an additional unit of good X. If we want to represent it symbolically, then MRT is equal to change in Y divided by change in X. That means how much good of Y, how much quantity of Y we have sacrificed in order to gain 1 unit of X. MRT or MOC is also referred to as slope of PPC, and let me remind you one thing, MRT and MOC are one and the same thing. There is no difference between them, so don't get confused between them. A question may also be asked regarding the shift or rotation in PPC. In this slide, we will learn about shift in PPC. If there is shift in PPC, it can be caused because of one of the two reasons. Either it is because of change in total resources, or it is change in technology of both the goods which we have decided to produce. Now, change in total resources means if the amount of resources in an economy increases, then PPC will shift rightwards. If the total resources destroys because of some natural calamity or any other reason, when the total resources are destroyed, at that time the PPC curve will shift to the leftward. In technology, generally what happens, technology gets upgraded. So whenever there is improvement in technology, PPC shifts to the rightward. But generally, because of technology, there is no backward shift in the PPC curve. The same thing is shown here with the help of graph, where AB represents the original PPC curve and A1 B1 represents the PPC curve where resources with an economy has increased. So our PPC curve has shifted rightward. Now A to B2 PPC curve, it shows the leftward shift in PPC curve because resources with an economy has reduced because of some or the other reason. Next we will see rotation in PPC curve. Rotation in PPC curve can be because of just one reason, change in technology of any one good. So either there is change in technology of good X or change in technology of good Y, and this results into rotation of PPC. In the given diagrams, the left diagram shows that there is improvement in technology of good X. So now the economy is in position to produce OQ1 quantity of good X instead of OQ, and the PPC curve rotates to the right. The right diagram, the next diagram shows that there is an improvement in technology of good Y. So instead of OA quantity of good Y, now economy is in position to produce OA1 quantity of good Y. Again, the PPC curve has rotation to the right. In this slide, I have shown the comparison between the two, that is shift in PPC and rotation in PPC. You should always remember that shift in PPC is because of either increase in resources or decrease in resources and because of change in technology. So shift in PPC can be because of two reasons, but rotation in PPC can be because of only one reason, and that reason is either technology of good X has changed or technology of good Y has changed. Now we will discuss about some of the important and tricky questions which may be asked in examination, and many times students gets confused and marks the wrong answers. The first question is that coal is available in abundance, then also it is scarce, while rotten eggs are limited in quantity, then also they are not scarce. Explain. The explanation is that scarcity is a relative concept. It is related with demand of a commodity. If demand is more than supply of the commodity, then that commodity is considered as scarce. In case of coal, demand is more than the availability, so it is scarce. While rotten eggs are not in demand, so they are not considered scarce. So even though coal is available in abundance, the demand is still more than its supply, so it is scarce. While rotten eggs are available in limited quantity, but their demand is not there, so they are not considered scarce. The next question is very confusing and many times student mark wrong answer for the question. The question is massive unemployment will shift the PPC to the left, true or false? The answer is false. Yes, it is false. Students believe that since there is unemployment, PPC should shift. But PPC shows production potential of a nation. Increase or decrease in unemployment do not have any impact on the PPC curve, and thus whenever there is unemployment in an economy, we can say that resources of that economy are inefficiently utilized, but it do not change the production possibility. So the answer is that unemployment will not have an impact on the PPC of a country, or unemployment will not shift the PPC to the left. The next question is in the form of MCQ. PPC will shift to the left when there is A. Underutilization of resources, B. Growth of resources, C. Destruction of resources, or D. Technological progress. The correct answer is C. Destruction of resources. Because of destruction of resources, economy will not be able to produce as much as it was able to produce earlier, and thus PPC will shift to the left. The next question is that production in an economy is below its potential due to unemployment. Government starts employment generation schemes. Explain its effect using PPC. The answer is that due to unemployment, an economy operates inside the PPC, which shows inefficient utilization of resources. Because of government's employment generation schemes, employment and output will increase, which increases utilization of resources, and the economy moves towards the PPC. Always remember that there will not be any change in PPC curve, because it shows potential of a nation and not the actual situation. So increase or decrease in unemployment do not have any impact on the PPC curve. Thank you very much for watching my video. Click the like button, share my video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.